again, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. My name is Mars, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different because, as many of you know, when a new unit comes out, I typically do a tour of destruction, which is a lot of fun. It's a cool opportunity to showcase a unit and what they can do, but in this case, we are going to do something different with the new Immortal Flame Katy Perry, and that's because this unit, Katy Perry, is the best friend of brand new players. What we want to show off today is all of the Chamber of the Fallen trials that we are able to clear with only a naked Katy Perry, a friend unit, and perhaps some other little bit of setup. So that's the really cool thing about this Katy Perry unit, is that she is a great chaining partner for a lot of different options, and it really opens up your choices when it comes to how you're going to tackle some of these older trials. And if there are any of you out there who are newer to the game and haven't completed these trials, you may notice that the guides for them are very, very old. The guides don't really give you any current information because many of I suppose all of them are 6-star max character trials, so it doesn't account for 7-star units or new units that you have access to. But with this Katy Perry unit and a friend unit, I'll show you what it takes to clear some of these. So before I dive into them one by one other thing I do want to mention, this will require specific friend units with specific equipment. So if you don't have friends that you need in your friends list, I would encourage you to go and search them out, because a lot of the friends list functionality is not working as it should at the time of recording. So you do tend to have to add friends directly. So there's a number of ways you can do that. You can add friends through the subreddit. The subreddit has a mega thread that is dedicated to finding friend units. You can also go to the Final Fantasy Brave Exvius subreddit Discord channel, where you can ask for friends and receive help in real time. And you can also join the Meet Me on Mars Discord channel, where we have our own chat channels for sharing friend units. So if you need something specific, you are able to pop in there, make a request, and we'll see if we can't find some people to help you out with specific unit builds. So that's how you find the friends that you need. It is a little bit tricky because in game at lower ranks, it can be hard to find exactly the friend unit you need. So that's why you want to leverage your social networks and try to find the friend that you need. So without further ado, we are going to jump into some of these trials and take a look at how we can knock them out. A lot of people are excited about clearing the Chamber of the Fallen trials because of the equipment that they're able to get through them, and that's completely understandable. These equipments can give you a pretty big head start, especially when you're getting started in the game. Now, the first ones I want to talk about are these first 4. These are the 4 easiest ones, and they can all be completed in a similar manner. We have Attack of the Intangier, Surging Menace, Attack of Anton Ola, and Attack of the Two-Headed Dragon. So we will go ahead and jump in one of these, and I'll walk you through what to do for each of these particular trials. So we are currently in Attack of Anton Ola, and this is the easy version. For anybody who's looking at the hard version, you do definitely need to take a different approach, but with this easier one, you are able to just clear it with Katy Perry and a friend. Now, my Katy Perry is totally naked. I'll show you. She's just level 120, so she has all of her skills, but she doesn't have anything equipped. And I have a High Seraph Ultima friend. You can also use Transterra, and in fact, I don't even think you need to chain these, but we're going to do it just in case. So, with High Seraph Ultima, you want to cast Arcane Magic's Ultima, and we probably don't even need to chain it. I'm just doing it, for safety, just in case I have a weaker High Seraph Ultima friend. And I'm pretty sure Fortune Out of Luck is what we want to use, and these abilities will chain together when you activate them at the same time to wipe out this boss. Oh yeah, we could have done that easily with High Seraph Ultima without chaining, but if you have a weaker Seraph Ultima or a Transterra friend or anybody else with Chaos Wave chaining frames, it is handy to chain it up just to be sure. Don't want to risk anything. Now, this combination of High Seraph Ultima and Katy Perry or Transterra or any of these other Chaos Wave chainers, it'll work for any of these 4 first trials without any issues at all. You'll find that it's very, very easy to clear them using that setup. With March of the Beasts, it's also very similar, but you do have to be prepared for 9 wave battles. And so what you need to do to prepare for that is to make sure that you have some form of MP restore. You can restore your MP through items, or you can restore it through abilities if you have a unit that can help you with MP. So I won't go ahead and go in there and demonstrate that one as well, because it is the same. Just do some damage with your friend unit and clear it out, and then you are good to go. Now the next trial we want to talk about is Gilgamesh. Attack of Gilgamesh is a really nice one for new players to be able to clear because it gives you a few things that are very useful. The first of which is Bushido Freedom, which is a handy dispelling ability, and also 30% attack, which is not bad for new players. And if you're able to get off a limit burst, which you may not be able to if you're following this exactly, but that can give you a Trust Moogle. So for this one, it's very easy to complete because a party of 5 or less is very easy to do because we're just taking our one friend unit with our naked Katy Perry, and we've got this. And again, this is a trial that, with the right friend unit, you don't necessarily need to chain, but you never know if the damage is not quite enough. I'm sure this Trance Terra by herself with Chaos Wave would have no problems destroying the boss just with those casts, but chaining makes it a sure deal. So we're going to go ahead and do 2 Fortune out of luck with Katy Perry and then destroy this boss. There we go. That wasn't so bad. And that'll give us access to the Genji Blade, Bushido Freedom, and attack 30% materia. If in the future you wanted to come back for the Moogle, you would just need to have a party that could survive just for a few turns to generate a limit burst, and then you would do some limit burst damage on top of the killing blow to get the mission. So that one is pretty straightforward. The next trial we would like to do is Beasts of the Dark. This one is handy because it gives you the Ifrit's Claw, which is handy for physical damage dealers, as well as the Large Sword Mastery, which is good for damage dealers as well who use large swords, and Siren's Robe, which is a good caster's robe. If you follow this method, you will lose out on the Evoke Siren and Ifrit Trust Moogle reward, which you can always come back for later. Now for this particular strategy, you're going to want to use a Tornado Chainer who can dual cast Tornado, and you want them to be as strong as possible. This one is a reasonably strong Barbarecia with about 2,000 magic and some extra Beast Killer on her equipped Esper. That's about what I'm using for this, and all you need to do to clear this fight is dual cast Tornado, and then with your Katy Perry, mirror the ability the same, dual cast Tornado. And then you just go ahead and activate that chain, and that should be good enough. Piece of cake. Now, like I said, you do miss out on the summon missions, so when you have more of a team built up and it's easier for you to handle, you can just complete this with the summon missions as well. The next trial on our list is the Lure of a Kidnap. This one isn't too bad, but we do have to do something a little bit differently with this one, which I'll talk about in a second. This one is easiest to get the Party of 5 or less mission, as well as the No Items mission. If you want to go for the Defeat Echidna with Esper mission, this one is a little bit trickier to do, but the reward is worth it for new players. The Echidna's Kiss is a materia that gives you 30% magic, so if you have a party that is able to survive and hang around for a few turns in order to fill up that Esper gauge, that can come in handy. But I'm just trying to show you a way that you can kill this boss basically in one turn to get the basic reward, which is the Assassin's Vest, which is 10% evade chance as well as some defensive stats. And it's an item that I still use to this day, so it's quite good. Now what you'll notice about the party that I use for this trial is that I've added Snow. Snow is important, or you can use any other tank that has draw attacks, because before you have a chance to attack, the boss will petrify and osmose the MP from a single random unit. So if you have a unit with draw attacks, that's awesome. Another strategy you can follow is to just put other extra random units in your party. They don't have to be equipped or anything, but it gives a chance of Echidna targeting them instead of your own unit. So that's what we're going to go with in this attempt. Now, as you can see, Echidna has stolen the MP from Snow, which is exactly what we wanted. There's a chance it could have gone to 2 of our other scapegoat units, but basically all we needed was for Barbarecia and Katy Perry to not be targeted. And so now that they are just fine and they have all their MP, they can go ahead and load up a double tornado and delete this boss forever. Easy as pie. The next trial we want to do is the Octopus and the Teacher, and this one is really finicky because if you're unlucky, you can die really quick. Like it's not a very easy fight because there is some randomness involved, but it is possible to do. So to get all the rewards, you need to use Libra, a limit burst, and use a party of 5 or less. With this particular setup, we may not be able to do Libra or a limit burst because we are doing naked party members. If you come back with a 7-star tank, even a naked 7-star tank can tank a lot of this. Then that can make it a lot easier for you to come back and use Libra or to get a limit burst. But for now, we're going to try it with the party that I have now, which has Shara. And Shara is just here in case we do have enough people up that I can entrust with him so that we can use a limit burst. That would be really nice. Cecil, if he happens to survive, can use Libra. And then Snow is here to draw attacks so that when we hit phase, the preemptives for phase 1 and phase 2, he's the one who gets hit instead of our precious damage dealers. Now, of course, because my Snow has no equipment, it's not a guaranteed draw attacks. So it may still hit our damage dealers and we may still die, but we're just going to give it a go to see if we can do it. So like I said, this is probably one you want to wait and do until you have at least like a decent, like an okay tank or an okay healer to help keep you alive. But this is a party of nakeds with a Barbarecia friend. So we'll see what we can do. Now, as soon as we get in here, we're going to get attacked, and Cecil's going to do his best to tank it thanks to Snow's draw attacks. And Snow actually survived, which is awesome to see. I like that. The unfortunate thing is that Cecil is down, so we're going to go ahead and use Shara to Phoenix down him. That way, in the next round, there is a chance that he can still be alive to tank some of the damage. And we're also going to use a Scroll of Healing to top off Snow and Cecil. That way they're both alive. This is optional because they're probably both just going to die in one hit anyways. So if you can't do this because you don't have a Scroll of Healing, don't worry about it. Not a big deal. What matters in this phase is we're going to go ahead and pop a double tornado with Barbarecia and Immortal Flames Katy Perry. Now, my Barbarecia is strong enough to kill Orthos on her own. She doesn't need to chain. But if you have a weaker Barbarecia friend or a weaker Tornado Chainer friend, then you're going to want to chain for the extra damage. Easy. Now we're going to see if we can survive this, because this does hurt. And it looks like we made it. We're still alive, which is great. One thing you'll notice is that we did get hit with a preemptive dark poison attack. Or no, that's not dark. It's just a poison attack. So the more HP you can put on Katy Perry, the more you can ensure her survival. But as you can see, Shara is down, so we're not able to entrust for a limit burst. Cecil is down, so we can't use Libra. So if we come back with a stronger party another day, we're able to get both of those. But for now, we want that Assassin's Vest, and we want the, what's the other reward? We want the Toxic Rain, so we're going to go ahead and get both of those by just wiping them both out with Tornado. And as you can see, it's no challenge at all for a decently barbed Tornado friend, and then you just use your own Katy Perry and knock it out of the park. The next trial on the list is the Fallen Iceberg, but we're going to skip this one because it's a pain in the butt. Katy Perry does not make it easier. This one is recommended to skip for now. You can bring a carry friend to help you with it at another time. So we're going to go to the Legendary Stag, which gives us a really nice shield, as well as Light Shield Arts, which gives us some defensive passives. When we have a Light Shield equipped, we can get this Moogle for using no items, and if we clear in 7 turns, we get Cradle of Horns. So we have to use no items, clear with a Limit Burst, and clear within 7 turns, which should be pretty easy. Now this party setup is going to be pretty similar to what we've seen before, is Katy Perry, who is also naked, and then we're taking Shara, who has Entrust, and he is only level 40, so he gets Entrust at a very low level, which is handy. Anybody with Entrust can help make this possible. Basically, he's just making a Limit Burst happen on the party. And Barbarecia, once again, is geared up to fight this particular boss. Now the nice thing is that this boss won't actually attack us until its second turn, so we get a free turn after this first one, and I'm only going to chain one tornado. Otherwise my Barbarecia will just kill the boss in one turn. You might be fine with a different Barbarecia, but mine is quite strong, so we're just going to go ahead and do a single tornado each. This should hopefully keep the boss alive. Now we've generated a few LB crystals, not as much as I would have hoped for. But if you're not able to get the limit burst, that's not the end of the world. You can also try and do it in the middle of the tornado chain, which is a little bit cheeky. On this turn, we definitely want to use 2 tornadoes. Shara can entrust. We'll see how close we can get our limit burst. And if we're able to fill it in the middle, we may be able to get it off. Go ahead and chain that up. Oh, so close. I couldn't quite get the target on it. But anyways, if you have the limit burst available, you can get that LB kill. Otherwise, you still get the shield, which is awesome. You get the Moogle, and you get Cradle of Horns, because that was a real easy clear. The next trial on our list is Machina of Destruction. Now, this one is very tricky to get all of the rewards on, and we may not be able to do it with this particular party. So, it's something that you can come back and do later, if perhaps you're able to evoke Ramu, or not use any magic, or use a limit burst. That's great. What this clear will get you is at least the fist. So if you have a fist damage dealer who needs a good fist weapon, this is a good way to help you get that. This is basically a one-shot strat that you can use. Now, instead of using Barbarecia, again, we are going to be using White Knight Noel this time. And instead of White Knight Noel, you could also use Christine or Mediana, anybody who has the freeze spell. That's what we're looking for on this one. And we're also bringing someone who can break spirit on everybody. So we're using Warrior of Light and his Armor Eraser, which is a 45% spirit break. And that should be about all you need. Now your White Knight Noel friend does need to be pretty strong in the magic stat with some magic machine killers, or your Christine, or your Medina, or whoever you use that has freeze. And ice is recommended, although I think you can also use water, if I recall correctly, which I may not recall correctly. Now for this fight, all we need to do is cast Armor Eraser, which will break the spirit of all of the parts that we're going to be attacking. And then we're going to go ahead and lay up a quick power mode, double freeze. And then we're going to dual cast not flood, silly. Dual cast, double freeze, and this should be game over. There, that wasn't so bad. So that'll get you your fist. If you want to come back and get the rewards another time, all the rest of them, then that's something you can do. You can still use a White Knight Noel friend, but you'll want them as like your provoker to tank the arm attack, and there's a whole lot of mechanics involved in that fight. But if you're able to avoid it and get the fist that you're after, then that's good enough. Alright, so the next trial on our list is the Wicked Moon, and this is one of the best ones for new players to clear because it gives you the Glory of Evil, which is a very high magic rod, which is very handy for your mages. So one of the problems with this one is we're not going to be able to evoke an Esper with this particular strategy. We are going to get Staff Mastery because we're not using items, but we're going to have to miss out on Crazy Day. But the good news is you get the two things that matter most, the Staff Mastery and the Glory of Evil. Now for this particular strategy, you have to have White Knight Noel. Now there are tons of other strategies out there. Don't think that this is the only way or the best way, but for the way that I decided to do it using a single friend unit is with White Knight Noel, and this one is very, very strong. It has very high magic stat, as you can see, in addition to a high amount of Demon Killer. And that's what he needs to be able to take on this boss. And once again, our Katy Perry is totally naked. So this I've tested this once, hopefully it still works. And there's a few reasons it has to be White Knight Noel. Number one is we need to survive for a couple of turns, and also because we need tornado chaining, funny enough, not ice chaining. Now the reason we can't do freeze chaining is because there's an ice apostle right here who is completely immune to ice damage. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to do wind damage, but before then we have to make sure that we provoke with Bring It On. This is going to make all the attacks focus on White Knight Noel, and that way Immortal Flame Katy can hang out. In fact, you can buff if you want to. It's not required because it doesn't matter. White Knight Noel buffs himself when he provokes. So now you'll see all the damage will go to White Knight Noel. no big deal. He shrugs it all off, even in full damage mode. He doesn't care. He'll go ahead and take all the damage. It doesn't matter if he counters or not. Countering is handy for just, you know, dealing a little bit of damage or adding an imperil, but we don't really need that. Now on this turn with White Knight Noel, you need to use Overdrive Activate. This is going to heal him and give him triple cast on the following turn. So very important to use that. And then Katy Perry is going to use Jackpot, so she also has triple cast on the following turn. Now the boss will continue to hit White Knight Noel, and we have to kill it next turn, because if the boss does not die on the next turn, we're going to get meteored and Katy Perry is going to die. This is a boss that does have a lot of mechanics, so it is definitely easiest to kill it in a single turn if you can make it happen. This is probably the easiest way to do it. And you'll see that White Knight Noel has helped us out quite a lot. The boss is already at 68% thanks to the counters. So all we have to do is the remaining 68, or you know, that remaining 68%. Now I have found that he's able to kill her 100%. In case you're not able to get all that counter damage, but you'll see that, yeah, you do need quite a bit of oomph to make this work, especially if the Katy Perry has no magic. But this should wipe out everything just fine. This will get you the Glory of Evil, get you on your way to building some mages. That staff mastery is really handy too, and it's a really awesome way to knock that trial out so that you don't have to deal with the crazy stuff. Come back another time when you've started building out your party more, and then you can get the rest of the rewards. So that's probably going to cover most of the trials that you're going to be able to clear using basically naked units. Katy Perry's greatest strength is her ability to chain with a lot of different units, which means you can take her into a lot of these trials, use a friend unit, and really get a lot of mileage out of it. So those are the ones that I'd recommend you tackle if you're a new player. If you still haven't cleared them yet, go ahead and I'm going to link resources below for you to be able to find friends. I'm going to link the subreddit. I'm going to link my own Discord so that you can find people to help you with your clears, if you are new to the game, of course. And there may be other trials that you can beat with extra additional units or considerations, but after Wicked Moon, it starts to get substantially harder to carry. I mean, Armor of Oppression, you know, you may be able to carry, but after that, it gets quite a bit harder, and especially if you consider some of the Indignant trials as well, which, you know, there may be some opportunities for these to be one-shot as well, but most importantly, tackling some of these easier, older trials early on can help give you a head start if you're a new player. So let me know, was this interesting or useful for you? Was this helpful? Honestly, I think Immortal Flames Katy Perry is a really cool unit. Like, she does so many freaking things, and I think she's an absolute godsend to brand new players. Like, if you're new to this game and you're looking to, you know, maybe give yourself a leg up against some of those trials and kind of get yourself into the game, she's going to be the person who can help you do that. As long as you're able to find some friends to help chain her with, you're going to be able to find some great success. So with that brings us to the end of kind of a quasi-tour of destruction. It's almost like a destructive tour of explaining how to do this with a naked Katy Perry, which I'm sure is what everybody wants to hear about. And let me know if this was something you liked. Share in the comments down below, and I will see everybody in the next video.